The camera pans across a quiet suburban street. Children laugh and play as a school bus screeches to a halt. But in the middle of that innocent noise, a girl's cry cuts through. 3 boys have cornered a timid new girl near the fence, mocking her accent, pushing her books into the mud. The crowd just watches. Phones record. And then, a shadow falls over them. A tall man in worn jeans and a faded Marine Corps jacket steps forward, his voice calm but sharp as a blade. That's enough. The bullies freeze. They turn, and for the first time, silence spreads faster than fear. Because the man isn't just anyone. He's Jack Riker, a single dad, a decorated combat veteran, and someone with a past none of them could imagine. And that day was about to change all their lives. Jack Riker wasn't the kind of man people noticed much anymore. After 12 years in the Marines, 3 tours overseas, he preferred silence over crowds, honesty over small talk. He worked nights as a mechanic, mornings making breakfast for his 10-year-old son, Ethan. His wife, Lily, had passed away 5 years ago, cancer. Since then, he'd promised Ethan that he'd always show up, no matter how hard life got. But lately, the world seemed colder, kids meaner, adults quieter. Jack saw it every day when he dropped Ethan off at school. The loudest were always the cruelest, and the kind ones stayed invisible. Then, one Monday morning, a new face appeared at school, a shy girl named Maya Alvarez, daughter of a single mother who had just moved from another state. She was quiet, gentle, and wore second-hand clothes. It didn't take long before she became the target. Jack saw it happen. Not the first time, but the third. He'd been sitting in his truck outside the school, waiting for Ethan, when he saw Maya stumble to the ground as 3 boys laughed, one kicking her backpack aside. Jack's fist tightened on the steering wheel. Memories of younger soldiers bullied in boot camp flashed through his mind, how some never recovered, how words cut deeper than wounds. He stepped out of the truck. The bullies didn't even notice him at first. They kept sneering, one of them mimicking Maya's accent, another filming it. But when Jack's boots hit the pavement, his voice thundered. Hey! They stopped. Pick up her bag. Now! One of the boys scoffed, Who are you, her dad? Jack's gaze didn't waver. No. But I could be the man who teaches you some respect. Something in his voice, the low calm that only comes from real experience, made the boy step back. He helped Maya up, brushed the dirt from her shoulder, and looked her in the eyes. You did nothing wrong. Walk tall. They only push because they're afraid someone like you reminds them how small they really are. The crowd around them dispersed, whispering. But the story didn't end there. That night, videos of the moment spread online. Old vet saves girl from bullies. Jack didn't care for attention, but something about Maya's eyes stuck with him. That quiet pain. The kind that reminded him of the soldiers who came home broken, hiding scars no one saw. 2 days later, Jack went to school to drop Ethan off again, only to find Maya sitting alone on a bench, head down. He sat beside her quietly. You know, when I was your age, I used to think being different made me weaker, he said. Turns out, it made me harder to break. Maya smiled faintly for the first time. And that's when Ethan ran up, handing her a chocolate milk. You can sit with me today, he said. For the first time in a long while, Jack felt something shift, the kind of small miracle that starts when kindness grows louder than cruelty. But fate wasn't done testing him. A week later, the bullying escalated. Jack had thought his warning was enough, but some kids learn lessons only when pain teaches them. After school, Maya was cornered again near the park, this time by the same boys and 2 more. They shoved her to the ground, taunting her for needing her hero. What they didn't know was her hero was already there. Jack had been nearby, waiting in his truck after work. He saw everything through the rearview mirror, and before the laughter even faded, he was out of the vehicle, moving fast, every step fueled by instinct and fury. He didn't shout this time. He just moved. By the time the boys realized what was happening, Jack was standing between them and Maya, his jaw set, eyes sharp. You had your fun, he said. Now you listen. He didn't raise a hand, he didn't have to. He pulled out something from his jacket, his old military ID, the one with his name, rank, and the emblem of the United States Marine Corps. The boys froze. You think strength is about making others smaller? I've seen real strength, Jack said, voice steady but burning. It's when you stand for someone who can't. When you choose to protect instead of harm. His words hit harder than any punch. The oldest boy dropped his phone, trembling. Maya's mother, who had just arrived running and terrified, saw Jack kneeling beside her daughter, calm, reassuring, steady. Later that night, she knocked on Jack's door with tears in her eyes. I don't know how to thank you, she said. Jack smiled softly. Just raise her brave. That's all the thanks I need. Word spread through the town fast, but this time, not as gossip. Parents started calling meetings at the school. Kids began standing up for one another. Ethan proudly told everyone. That's my dad, he was a Marine. He helps people. Days turned into weeks. Maya found her place not as the new girl, but as the brave girl. And Jack, for the first time since losing his wife, felt like he'd found purpose again, not on a battlefield, but in a small act of courage that changed lives. One evening, as he tucked Ethan into bed, the boy looked up and asked, Dad, are you still a hero? Jack smiled. No, son. I just decided to stop walking away. The camera fades out on Jack standing at his porch, watching the sunset, his silhouette strong, peaceful, and proud. Because sometimes, the greatest battles are fought in silence, and the heroes who win them never ask to be called one.